Hello everyone, this is Harshal Desai from Elets Media Private Limited. I welcome you all today in our next edition of Elets Innovation Talk. As most of the viewers are already aware, Elets Innovation Talk is one of the series started by Elets Media Private Limited, where we communicate with different industry leaders on different subjects. Today, in this edition, we have with us Mr. Puneet Gupta, Managing Director, NetApp India. Welcome, Mr. Puneet Gupta, to Elets Innovation Talk.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for taking time out from your busy schedule for this exclusive conversation. And without further delay, my first question to you is that we would request you to brief our audience on very briefly on how NetApp India currently working in the country, how this organization is, which are the areas, which are the industries NetApp India is currently serving to, and how has been the performance in recent past.
Okay, thanks, Harshal. Great question. And look, NetApp, as many of you know, was founded in 1992 in Sunnyvale and is now one of the Fortune 500 companies. And as we ended our fiscal year FY20 in April of 2021, we ended with like 5.41 billion of revenue. So I think the company's come a long way in close to 30 years since it got founded. And now, NetApp is very strongly positioned in the market as a data management company. And I think what we tell a lot of our customers in the industry is that our objective is to manage data for the customers, irrespective of where it sits. It could be on-prem, it could be public cloud, hybrid cloud, multi-cloud, or a combination. And I think that's the expertise that we are really bringing to the table. That's a transformation we are making as an organization ourselves, where we are helping our customers build over the years and in the recent past. I think we are uniquely positioned to help customers manage their data as they accelerate their cloud journey.
Right.
Now, in an India context, I think we've had a very good run over the years. Most of the large banks, telcos, e-commerce companies, manufacturing organizations, government organizations are ones that we serve. And one thing I can tell you that customers who worked with us in the past usually come back to us. We have a very strong, if I may say, customer retention rate, or a strong rate that we continue to do business with customers who have dealt with us once. So an extremely strong track record, and yeah, I think NetApp is very well positioned in the Indian market.
Right. Thank you so much for this information. Now we all know we are going through very tough times, and we are in the middle of a pandemic. Now, how significantly did this pandemic, push digital transformation? That's something which I would like to seek your opinion on. And you spoke about cloud-based technologies, cloud technologies. So the next question is, in your view, what role would cloud-based data-driven applications play in future of Indian business and economics?
So look, let me answer this in one by one. So firstly, I think the pandemic only accelerated digital transformation and adoption of cloud. And clearly when the pandemic started almost like 14-15 months back, it took everybody by surprise. And practitioners of IT, or CIOs and CXOs, were in a difficult position where they had to keep the lights running. They had to respond to the demands of business by either augmenting their infrastructure or being able to launch services on the fly. And digital seemed to be the only mode left for people to go live their lives. And it wasn't just about the business. I mean, there was business on one side, there were personal interactions, the way people dealt with each other socially. Every part of life for each one of us was hugely impacted by this whole digital story. So the pandemic really, got companies on the digital transformation bandwagon. The ones who were a little bit of laggards kind of jumped into it as fast as they could.
Hmm.
And I think this trend is not going to reverse, because if you look at it, even as we speak, there is fair amount of uncertainty on what the future holds for us. And as we read the press, there are talks of a potential third wave, or things that can happen in the future. So most enterprises are gearing up to live in this world, and many organizations are going in this hybrid workplace model. Many organizations are saying that the work from home is going to stay for quite some time. Clearly, the dependence that enterprises and companies have had on both digital and cloud-based applications has only gone up.
Right.
And which then gets me to the point that in times to come, uh, a lot of the companies will be hugely dependent on both digital and cloud. And now it's not going to be whether you want to be in it or not. It's about how fast you can be, and how much you can go adopt.
Right. Great. Now, we all know industries across the world are facing multiple challenges lately. And my question to you is that during these uncertain times, what are the opportunities that you want to underline cloud, bring to the Indian business?
Okay, so I think if you look at it, firstly, cloud is not new to India, right?
Yes.
The whole cloud journey started a few years back. And as I have spoken to several CXOs over the last 15 months, every single one of them has said that cloud is something which is important for them, and cloud is not an option.
Hmm.
At the same time, CXOs are also saying that the nature of their business, for many of them, on-prem is also going to be equally important. And then that gets us to the point that CXOs want to live in a world where they want a hybrid model, a combination of on-prem and public cloud.
Yes.
And they need the speed, agility, flexibility of the cloud, but they want the performance, the look and feel, the feature functionality of the on-prem. And they also want flexibility of being able to move data back and forth. So some of the opportunities that will be seen is the whole area around remote access and availability of data and applications.
Hmm.
Because I mean, the whole environment of workplace is going to change significantly, right? And I don't think so we will be in a world in the near future where 100% of the workforce is going to show up at office. So this will be a very important area, and companies around the world are going to implement this. And I think security and data integrity, even if you go migrate to the clouds. That, of course, is one that needs to get addressed. The second, if you ask me, is just about the comfort of the customer and the expertise they have on working on the cloud. Because over the years, enterprises have built large IT teams who are very comfortable and are very skilled on working on-prem. And it's like a reorientation for them to now skill themselves on working on the cloud, because now a lot of the stuff is done by the cloud service provider. So they need to wear a very different hat when they have applications which are on the cloud. The third, I think, inhibition that many customers face is, will we find the same availability on the cloud as we find on-prem? And which I think is an easy problem to go solve, because the cloud service providers do a pretty good job around it. But still, it's the feeling of control that you have with infrastructure which is on-prem vis-a-vis when you go run it on the cloud. So I think that's the third inhibition that a whole lot of folks face. The fourth one and the last one that I would say is that it's around interoperability. And what I think customers like to see is that if they have applications on-prem and on the cloud, are they interoperable both from an application and from a data standpoint? And one of the things that NetApp has done extremely well is the ability to move data between public cloud and on-prem, or even between the public cloud providers. And that flexibility of moving data around is like a big step that will help customers go past this inhibition.
Right. Now, Mr. Gupta, there are many organizations which claim to offer fastest, cloud deployment technologies. They claim to be number one in when it comes to cloud adoption, be it public sector or enterprise. They all offer agile and flexible solutions. They all offer, security of the data, which is hosted on whether it's on-prem or public or hybrid model. Now, so many players. Now, how NetApp differentiates itself from these competitors, and how can NetApp help businesses in India to accelerate their pursuit of the cloud? What differentiates NetApp from others?
Correct. Actually, that's a great question. If you go back in time, right, when the cloud story first came in the IT industry, the underlying story was that it's flexible, it's agile, it's end-to-end. The cloud service providers will manage everything. You'll get flexibility as your resources go up. So let's say if your workload is peaking end of month or end of quarter or during festivals, cloud can go handle, and which is all the right reasons. So on all the points that you mentioned, I think those are really the fundamentals on why cloud is so attractive to most customers. Now, given the fact that the advantages of cloud are so well understood, so well articulated, and are so well embraced, we should look at what challenges still exist and how do we go solve them. I think the first that comes to my mind is that how do you find the same enterprise grade storage services that you have on-prem, how do you get them to the cloud? And do you find the same feature functionality? Like let's say, for example, in the NetApp world, our operating system on-prem is ONTAP, and which is a very powerful operating system which runs all of the data management infrastructure for all our customers. Now, are our customers going to experience the same ONTAP when they go on the cloud? The answer is absolutely yes, because that's what NetApp brings to the table. And it's so seamless that the customers will not even know the difference whether they're on the cloud, on-prem, from a look and feel standpoint. So that's about bringing enterprise-grade storage services. The second is that there is always this issue of performance. And when it's on-prem, I mean, enterprise customers really know what kind of performance they're going to get in the way it's deployed. Now there are solutions that can get deployed on the cloud that will get customers enhanced performance or almost as good a performance as they will get on-prem. And if you handle these two things, then you've solved majority of the problems that customers face. And this is something unique that NetApp brings to the market. Now, if you put this in the background, then it's like telling the customer that we can manage data holistically for you, and we can implement the best cloud storage solution for you. And really the term that NetApp uses is data fabric, which is like build a complete data fabric spanning from edge to core to public cloud to on-prem or a mix, right? And it really doesn't matter to us where the data sits. But what we will do is that we will manage it so effectively for the customer that the customer really becomes oblivious, or is like, it's like transparent to, it actually doesn't matter where this data is sitting. And this is the uniqueness that is making NetApp so dear to our customers. The last one I'd say is that the features which in most cases are not available across cloud, that's something that NetApp is bringing to our customers, largely through the ONTAP operating system. And now we have a new version called the Cloud Volumes ONTAP, is what we call CVO, the Cloud Volume Services. So we've built the whole functionality, all of the features on this software. And when customers will really go to the cloud, it'll be seamless. They will not feel the difference. And I think it's this ability to offer the solution to the customers that will be a unique differentiator and really help the customers in their cloud journey.
Right. Great to know all these saying about NetApp India. Would you like to tell us about NetApp solutions in the data storage segment as well? And do you have any partner projects with the center?
So look, I mean, if you ask me, the whole company is around data storage. I mean, this is what we do for a living. And honestly, we are a specialist in a generalist world in that sense. Everything that we do, and most of our customers really trust NetApp to help manage their most important information resources. Right now, whether it is all flash arrays that will deliver robust data services, or integrated data protection, or seamless scalability, or speedy performance, or deep application and cloud integration. I mean, I think we'll do the works. Like I said earlier, that we really are in the business of handling customers' data end to end, irrespective of where it sits. Some of the acquisitions that we've made in the recent past, like we acquired a company called Spot, and Spot does a wonderful job of optimizing resources for the customer, which brings the customer's monthly bill down on the cloud consumption, and allowing the customer to scale a lot more with the same dollars that they go spend. And it's such a powerful tool that the customer gets the same outcome at like much lesser dollars, and the dollars that they save then get redeployed into doing more stuff on the cloud. I think this is what is making NetApp really unique. So on one side you have the look and feel of the data storage, on the other side you have performance, and the third side you have cost. And if you manage all three of them from a data storage segment standpoint, then that's what customers really need.
Right. Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Puneet Gupta, for this amazing interaction. Would request you any other information if you would like to share with our viewers. I request you to please brief them on it.
Sure.
Any other information? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only other thing that I will add, Harshil, is that this is a very interesting time that we are in, and for a few different reasons. One is that the digital transformation journey is generating more data every year than in the history of human mankind ever before. Yes. So 2021 will probably generate more data than what we have seen till date by December 2020. Now, when you have so much data everywhere, and earlier we used to talk in gigabytes, and then people said terabytes, and now it's petabytes, managing that data will become increasingly complex. And the data is going to sit all over the places. I mean, that whole concept of data centers is also going to change. I mean, earlier you had one data center where all the data would come and sit. Now it's going to be either multiple data centers, or it's even that data is going to sit outside of the data center. I think NetApp is going to make this complex job look very simple. And this pandemic has only, while there's a, I mean, this pandemic has had a huge human cost, but it's also, got us, got technology a lot more in the forefront than what we have seen before. And this trend is not going to get reversed. So it's not like we will go back to December 2019 or January 2020 once this pandemic gets over. And in the business that we are in, the relevance of what we do will only go up and will only increase with time as the world embraces a lot more digital, as the dependence on digital keeps going up. So I think we are in a great space, and it's really a privilege to be in this space at this point in time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Puneet Gupta, Managing Director, NetApp India. This is all from my side, and I think we shall formally close this conversation here. We once again, on behalf of Elets and Ego Magazine, thank you so much for agreeing to have this conversation with us at Ego Magazine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Harshal. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.